huge losses for Polish industry. The failure of one of the power lines at the Azoty Group has paralysed the production of propylene and polypropylene, key raw materials for entire sectors of the economy, from processing to automotive. It cannot be ruled out that the cause of the outage was overconfidence placed in renewable energy sources. For many recent years, attempts have been made to discourage Poland from Poland's sources of raw materials for the reason that the planet is on fire, that is, Poland's coal. There have been attempts to force us to close Turów and other processing units that are stable and replace them with unstable units that will disrupt the system. An anonymous letter from an Azoty Group employee has reached TV Republica's editorial office. In it, he writes bluntly about the progressive degradation of the company's production assets and deliberate actions that could cause damage to the company. Fertilizers are regularly imported into the ports of Szczecin and Świnoujście by German companies, largely of Russian origin. This not only hits domestic industry, but calls into question the sense of current economic policy, especially in the context of the war in Ukraine and the need for independence from raw materials from the East. This is a warning signal. The EU's Green Deal, which casts a pall over the economic development of the European economies, is also a problem. And this is what environmental protection looks like in reality. A ship with 3,000 cars burned off the coast of Alaska, including about 800 electric cars. It is practically impossible to extinguish until such a vehicle burns out completely, so it is a risk that the fire will spread and end up with very serious consequences, and perhaps also for the environment, because it can end differently, and such a ship may well sink. I'm in favour of eco-solutions, but these are not exactly eco-solutions. And this is not the first such case. The supposedly eco-friendly solutions often turn out to be costly, risky and ineffective. An example? France, where the National Assembly abolished the so-called clean transport zones. It turned out that no visible improvement in air quality was observed. The example of France shows that all the arguments that were on the table that these decisions would improve air quality were not valid arguments, and all the fears that people would be excluded and divided into elites who have access to urban centres and the rest of the population because of France turned out to be real fears. Other countries are waking up. The Polish government continues to introduce a clean transportation zone that has been in place in Warsaw for nearly a year, and similar zones are soon to be established in other cities with populations of over 100,000. The Green Deal, while theoretically meant to protect the environment, in practice is becoming an instrument of profit for the elite and a cause of social stratification. Increasingly, ordinary people are paying for ideological ideas.
Płacą zwykli ludzie. Aleksandra Gołda, Republika.